Hi folks, it's Tom Zeeb and I'm here with one of my coaching students, Neva Williamson, and we just had the buyer inspection for her first wholesale deal, and everything went well. And what we did was we brought 3 buyers in at the same time. We did that for 2 reasons. One, it's a currently occupied property, it's a rental, so we did that as a courtesy to the tenant. But we also did it for a more selfish reason as well, and that's to create a little competition between the buyers, honestly. We wanted the buyers to see each other, and we wanted them to maybe bid up the price a little bit. Even in this economy, you can still bid up the price when a deal is pretty good. So, Neva, tell us, introduce yourself again, and tell us a little bit about the property.
My name is Neva Williamson, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Arlington, Virginia. It's about 2 blocks from the Orange Line, so it's a really good neighborhood. It's currently rented. The tenants have been in there a few years, so they really like it and would like to stay. So it's really good that the buyers are saying, hey, we'll keep the tenants. So everyone's saying they can close on it really quickly. So
good stuff.
Yeah,
I think we're in for a good one. Well,
yeah.
let's talk a little more about.
How did I find a deal? I did postcard marketing. Actually, this one really makes me believe that you have to send this to the same people, because actually the second time I mailed, he called. So I haven't been doing that before. I've just been sending once. So now I know I need to keep sending to the same people, because it was funny. He said, "You sent me 2 postcards, so I thought you're really serious, so I called," is what he said. So we were talking, and basically he called and said he thought the property was worth about $350,000. He said, "Well, can you do $250,000?" And of course, originally I thought, it's not going to be true, because people call and tell me all the time, my property's worth $400,000. Can you sell it to me for I'll sell it for $200,000, and I checked, and it's worth like $50,000. So I checked, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, they really are selling for like 3 something. Wait a minute. So I called him back, and we were just talking and just started listening. He said, hey, I know it can sell for more, but I live in New Hampshire. I don't want to come down here and kick the tenants out, fix it up, then I don't get any money while I'm fixing it up. I don't want to go through all that. What can you do? So I went and looked at the numbers and made an offer. The next day he called, he said, hey, I'm really thinking about this now. Like, he started taking it seriously. I think when he first called, it was just let me see what she says. And then the second day he said, I'm really thinking about this. I'm going to contact the tenants now and let them know. So then I knew he's completely changed from just wondering what I'll do to, if you're going to tell your tenants, hey, you're going to notify the tenants you're going to sell, because you don't want to alarm tenants and then go back and say, oh, I was just joking, I'm not really selling. And they're on their way out. And then I immediately the next day sent him the contract in the mail, because I was like, if he gets it in the mail, I think that will help. So he gets it in the mail, and he goes, oh, I didn't know you were going to move that quickly. Okay, let me go get this. He said, oh, you didn't give me time to counter offer. So then he came back and said, I said, okay, what will your counter offer? He asked for like an extra $2,000.
That was it.
So I didn't even want to argue at that point, because I was like, it's Arlington. I was like, let's not argue over $2,000. So.
Let's walk in. So it was good, and he so he was impressed with your speed.
Yeah, he goes. Oh, I didn't really think.
We'll go inside.
Because even originally, at one point, he even said, "How long have you been doing this?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, I've been investing in real estate since 2000, because I've been investing. I started in New York." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Oh, okay, so this isn't a fly-by-night thing. Okay, good." So once he started to realize it was legitimate, and then he was talking about his job. He's a retired lieutenant colonel, and we were talking about like the area, just connecting, just listening. So he really just started, I think, kind of trust me and say, because I don't think he went and looked for any other offers to see. I think he was just happy with. So you cut the competition out. Yeah, so I don't think
when you send him 2 postcards, and that he realizes you're for real, you're legitimate. So there's a big benefit to repetition. Mm-hmm. And then you had good rapport with him. Yeah. And then you built a good amount of rapport. Right. And cut the price moving. Perfect. Good. Hi. If you're heading that way, we'll rotate.
Go this way.
Good. So that's good. And then he didn't even put up much of a fuss.
No,
he asked a little bit more, but it was a reasonable concession.
Because that's the thing. When I look back now, I actually think I could have got it for less, because as I look back at the conversation, his number one priority was not price. His number one priority was really convenience, because like right now he's on vacation. He said, "Oh, call me, I'll be on vacation. Let me know, when everything closes and that your buyers like it, So he really just wanted.
And he's out of state.
Yeah, he's out of state. He goes, "I'm going on a golfing trip. Give me a call."
Does he have a mortgage on it?
No.
No. So it's totally paid off.
Yeah, totally paid off.
Wow, because you hear all this stuff about the economy not being good. I want to make a few really good points here. This guy owns a property in a hot area, a nice area that's really it was up and coming 10 years ago. Now it's there, and it's awesome. And he's got all equity. And so price isn't the number one issue in the negotiation. Yeah. He wanted the convenience, and you offered the convenience, and he's out of state.
Because he said, that's why your companies like you are so great, because it's just so convenient.
Yep.
So he said, because we were calculating how much his rent is, how much rent he collects, and the condo fees. He said, so altogether he was making about $12,000.
Okay.
But he said, hey, if you can give me now what I can make in 10, 15, 20 years, I'll take the money now. So that's how he was more thinking.
Because people get to a certain age, retired. It sounds like
he's retired.
They get to a certain age, and they know that's why wait around when I can get 12 to 15 years worth of profit.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said if you can do that, he said I'll sell it to you.
Also, another point I want to make, because everyone's talking about what a horrible economy it is. You have 3 very interested buyers. And that's what we were just
And I only called 3 people because there are tenants in there, and I didn't want to bring a lot of people in. So I only contacted 3 people I knew could really close.
Out of respect for the tenant.
Right.
So you went to you went to your best buyers that you knew can close with cash. And what do we do to screen buyers? We ask for
proof of funds.
Proof of funds. And when you got the proof of funds, were you surprised?
I was actually. I started to think, geez, I've definitely been in the wrong business.
Because you better tell everyone why you're laughing. Because there was some substantial amounts of liquid cash sitting in the bank.
Yeah. I mean, one buyer, I said, I asked for proof of funds for the business. He said, well, here's proof of funds for my business, and here's also my personal account. And this personal account, I'm like...
Because we ask for bank accounts. If they want to black out the account number, we tell them, fine, take a magic marker, black it out, and then fax it over. So we've seen people's personal bank accounts, their business bank accounts, and there's some serious amounts of cash sitting in the bank, even in this horrible economy. And so we've got 3 buyers that are very hungry for this deal now, and we've tried to ignite a little bit of a bidding war. We'll see what happens there. But at the end of the day, let's talk about the 3 offers. So let's not use any names, but the 3 offers we have 2 private investors, and then we have another group that have come in through a realtor. And all of them basically left today saying yes, they want it at full price. So that's excellent. And all of them have provided proof of funds. We know they have the cash to do it. And most of them can close quickly. Now, let's break them down, the different offers. One of them that we probably put at the bottom wants to get rid of the tenant.
Right. He said he wants to close when the unit is empty. And he also wants me to go back and ask the homeowner to give the tenant notice. So I don't really want to go back to the homeowner and do that, because then I'm taking away, the convenience that he's saying is his number one priority. I don't really want to go back and ask him to do it. I would prefer the person that purchased the property then gave them notice, and not ask the...
So that puts that buyer at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. And plus, the tenants have been in there for a few years, so I think the homeowner is going to feel kind of bad giving them notice. And if he does give them notice, he's not going to want to give them like a month's notice, I think. He'll probably want to
give them more time.
Because they've been there a long time.
Time is often the enemy of a deal, and so we want to get this done.
Right.
From our perspective.
Right, because I definitely don't want to call the homeowner and say that we can't buy the property, because like I said, he's telling me, call me as soon as everything's finalized. Like, he's excited to sell, so I don't want to go back on. Okay.
And of the other 2, now we have one coming from through a realtor and one on his own, and we know the one on his own. We've dealt with him before. We know he's a solid, trustworthy, great individual. So he's probably in top place. He's in first position. Second position, we put the group with the realtor. It's kind of typical with an agent. There's, they want their specific contracts used and whatnot. But what do you think of those 2 buyers?
They were pretty good. I found them because they purchased another unit here a few months ago, cash. So I contacted a realtor and said, do you think they'll be interested in purchasing another one cash? And of course, you know, they said, oh, sure.
So hang on, because that's a $5-star $1 million idea for a lot of people. No, because a lot of people don't do that extra work to find it. If you're looking for a cash buyer, you explained to everyone a little bit what you did there. You went and found, because we're in a condo complex.
Yes, I went in MLS and I put in the subdivision and I searched for, you can, there's an option in there for like mortgage type or something like that. It's cash. So I went in and just searched for like the last 6 months because I didn't want to find someone that purchased cash 2 years ago. It's like the last 6 months or the last year, something like that I did. And they came up because they purchased one a few months ago. So I called them and said, do you think they'll be interested in purchasing another one cash? And he said, sure, let me give them a call. And then he called me back and he said, oh, they're definitely interested, you know, so. They were
good, so they're looking for a second
yeah,
unit.
And plus it's in the same neighborhood, so.
Easy for them to manage. They get some economies and scale building, okay. But we're putting them in second place probably.
Yeah, because I still don't really know them, so.
And so there's more of a relationship to be built going forward with the other individual that we've been, okay.
Definitely.
And because it's nice to sell to the same guys again and again.
Yes. Yeah, because number one is definitely someone that's saying, you know, I want to work with you and continue to do deals. And that's the thing, for me, at least starting as a wholesaler, you're giving offers, but you're kind of in a panic because you're like, I have to go and find someone to buy this. So I do want to build that relationship where I know that I have a buyer that if I have a good deal, he's going to, you know, definitely give me the deposit immediately. You know, then I just feel at ease because you just don't want to go back and have to tell the seller, sorry, I can't.
So as a wholesaler, now the way you're thinking about it, because you're a wholesaler now. I mean, you're a wholesaler. This is going to be a good deal. You're going to make a good amount of money, and you're looking at the different things, and all else being equal, people offering the same price. This guy is willing to keep the tenant, willing to pay full price, willing to make it easy on you, and you're building a relationship going forward. You know you'll sell more deals to him in the future.
Yes, definitely.
Good. Now, let's talk. I'm going to jump in just for a little bit and change it. Now, this is very different than the last deal you had on the contract. Not to bring up pain, but it was good.
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah, that was painful. You had you had a deal on the contract, and the numbers were good.
Yeah.
The price on that property wasn't bad. But it was the complete opposite of this deal in many ways.
Yes.
Why?
The location was horrible.
It was an ugly duckling.
Yes. It was horrible. And this location is just prime.
This location's fabulous.
Yeah.
What was wrong with the other location?
It was up on a hill. There were about 15 steps to get in the house.
15 steps to the front door. And no driveway.
Yeah, no driveway. It was really small. It was tiny.
It was a small house.
It was a tiny.
What happened to that property? Even though the numbers were right, what happened to that property?
No one
went for it. So what did we have to do?
I had to go back to the homeowner and tell her that we couldn't purchase a property.
How did that feel?
Horrible, because that's what I'm saying. I really want to have a good buyer because the sellers are really anxious to sell as well. And so when you call to tell them that you can't purchase it,
it's a horrible
and people think, oh, we're lowballing people, but they're really like, take it. And so when you call and say we can't, they're kind of like, they're like really disappointed.
Versus this one, it's going well. It'll definitely sell. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It'll be a nice wholesale fee. How much of a wholesale fee do you have factored in here?
$14,000.
$14,000. Not bad. Not bad. $14,000, basically cash wholesale fee. Nothing wrong with that. Well done. I'll shake with my left since I'm holding the camera with the right.